Hey, how are you? It's good to see you, everybody. How are you doing out there? John Walker, I hope you dodged that tornado, my friend. Anyway, who am I? I am Bill Sylvie, a.k.a. the Dungeon Delver, coming at you on a Thursday evening. It is good to see you. It is good to be seen by you. And of course, tonight's show is brought to you by our friends at Hellebarde Games. Hellebarde Games makes the kind of modules that they'd like to play, whether it's for Castles and Crusades, 5th edition, or the OSR. Old school is in play at the table with Hellebarde Games. You can find them on DriveThruRPG or on their website, hellebardegames.com, where guess what? They have a sale going on right now. That's right. All of their remaining in print 5th edition versions of their modules. That includes a swamp full of mystery and dangerous lizard men, and a caravan trail loaded with adventure locales are available. Use the discount 5EOOP at your checkout and get 50% off. That's buy one, get one, guys. You're not going to find a better deal for solid role-playing game stuff. And I've heard they have a pretty good one, Temple of the Sun or something. I don't know. Maybe you might want to pick up a physical copy and check it out. That's up to you guys. But please do give our sponsors a look. We love Hellebarde Games around here at the Delver's Dungeon. So pick up some cool stuff from them. And I am doing pretty good. Hello, Jimmy Invictus, RP Gamer Pro, Catfish Avenger, and all you people out there in the chat. RPG Grandma, good to see you. Road March. Yeah, the Concrete adventure that had been keeping me from, putting out a video about the convention. And so on and etc. I gotta get that taken care of. Jason Walter, hello. By the way, if you're just stopping by, and you haven't already, please do consider clicking that subscribe button, the bell icon for notification. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and leave a comment down below and let us know what you like about it if you're not already out there in the chat singing my praises. But anyway, I have, you know what? I'm going to share it in the Discord tonight. I have a discount code just for fans of the show, and I will put it in the Discord just for show watchers, just for show subscribers. So you got to be watching the show. Okay, to go over to the Discord tonight, because I have a code that is good for today and tomorrow for some fun stuff from Gaxland.com. That's right. I'll throw it up in the Discord. You guys can grab it. Greetings, Steel Mongoose. It's good to see you. John Stewart Keller. How are you? So yeah, it's all good stuff. And folks, I should point out, but I ain't gonna. No, I should point out that we are currently at, drum roll please, 4,586 subscribers on the channel, 4,586. The number itself is not particularly significant, other than 4,586 of you guys like this channel enough to click the subscribe button and the bell icon, and I could not be happy. I mean, I could be happy, or I could wake up tomorrow and have 20 million subscribers. But thank you all just the same. Thank you, everyone who has subscribed and has stayed subscribed. We have awesome stuff in the works, awesome stuff planned. And if you're wondering, oh, hey, Jeremy, good to see you. If you're wondering what's going on, if you're wondering what is in the works, by the way, Jeremy is going to be on. We gotta arrange things. Let me tell you something, guys. Jeremy's a high roller in the business world, okay? The man doesn't have the time just to sit around and talk about Dungeons and Dragons whenever he wants to, but when he does, it's pretty awesome. So we're going to get Jeremy on the show because he's been working on AI stuff, artificial intelligence. And he's going to talk to us about its possible practical applications for Dungeons and Dragons. And I am looking forward to that. I am really looking forward to that. So Jeremy's going to be here soon-ish when I can sit down and find 90 minutes of the man's free time that he wants to donate to us folks down here. But guess what's coming up probably before then? Ladies and gentlemen, I hold in my hand my fingers, and with these fingers, I typed gmail.com. And I got an email last night. From Errol Otis confirming that he will be here next Thursday at 7 Eastern. The one, the only Errol Otis. Errol Otis is not an icon of D&D art. He is an iconoclast. He broke the mold of traditional fantasy RPG art at a time when it was just being formed, okay? Imagine the universe is exploding out and only a few years have happened since the singularity, since the brain collision, since when God said, "Let there be light." And then something completely new the universe has never seen forms. That's this guy, okay? And if you don't know who Errol Otis is, Google it. Then you'll go, oh, Errol Otis, okay. So he's going to be here at 7 o'clock next Thursday night to talk about art, gaming, working for TSR, things he's done since then, and you know what? Anything else he wants to talk about. If Errol wants to sit here and talk about his trip to the Safeway, we're going to let him do it. I'm excited about it. And you should be too. It's been an interesting week because, of course, we had Heidi and Eric on Tuesday, which uprooted gently into a clay pot where we could add water and more soil to keep it safe from root shock. But it uprooted the Tuesday night first edition AD&D game, which had the potential to have been transplanted into tonight. However, when you set things, when you work on a schedule, when you function, sometimes people, they build things around that. And in this instance, they could not, the folks who gamed just couldn't wreck other things to play AD&D tonight. So we're just kicking back tonight. We're just going to have some fun. We're going to relax and have just a good old, a crazy gibberish. For those of you who've been following me since March of 2020, you remember the crazy gibberish? That's what we're doing tonight, guys. That's what we're doing. So yeah, we're just kicking back tonight. Now, again, I hate to keep coming back to this like you're picking up the needle and setting it, put the needle on the record, going back over and over again to, if you're new here, but you might be new here. Maybe you've subscribed and clicked the bell icon based on my other videos, shorts, news reports, or you just followed me over from Twitter or followed me over from Facebook. That's the directions they're in, by the way. That's that. Twitter is over there, Facebook's over there. But anyway, you might not know, if you're one of those folks, you might not know we have a convention planned. That's right, a tabletop gaming convention. Oh no, you think. How can I afford to travel to such an event? Oh no, how can I afford a badge? Oh no, how can I afford to eat and to get a hotel room? Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Damen und Herren, mesdames et messieurs, you don't have to. You don't have to go anywhere. You can do it from the comfort of your own home, because I'm talking about the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. That's right. We're having a virtual con. We are having a virtual convention. I will pop the link up here. Let me see if I can find this. Right there. You can go, you can sign up. There's an AD&D tournament with an ever decreasing number of spots, because that tournament has cash prizes and adventure prizes. This convention has a couple of sponsors this year. That's right. You heard me. A couple of sponsors this year. This convention is brought to you by, of course, our friends at Hellabard Games. They're providing some goodies. And also by Frog God Games. That's right. Sponsored by Frog God Games. And Frog God is going to have some goodies. I'm fixing to roll out some convention goodies from Frog God for you guys. So if you're not subscribed and you're not signed up for the con, you're going to lose out on convention exclusives. Do you want to lose out on convention exclusives? No, you don't. So what do you have to do? What do you have to do? All you have to do is follow that link, sign up, and be ready for fun. We've got a Discord for the con. You'll sign into, and you'll go to the appropriate room at the appropriate time, and then you'll game. And it will be fun, fun, fun. So that's pretty cool. Hail Lobster Unbreaded, Michael Connor. Speaking of unbreaded, we have merch for this con. Do you want a Great Underground Online Gaming Convention shirt? Yes, you do. Pint glass, coffee mug, sports bra. I'm not kidding about the sports bra, by the way. I was as surprised as you guys were. Because we got merch for the con. Go here, because the Dungeon Minister has created some absolutely gorgeous convention merch. By the way, Jeremy Rule, have you gotten your registration for guac? Have you gotten some guac? Get yourself a t-shirt, Jeremy. Stroll into work, and they're going to be like, what's that awesome looking t-shirt? Well, if you'd signed up for the guac, you'd know. But Dungeon Minister has some fantastic merch for the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. Get some merch. Sign up for the con. The con is free. The merch is not. But going to the con, you're going to get so many free goodies. The virtual goodie bag is going to be amazing. And speaking of virtual, we've got an artist alley. And Tracy Lesh is the star of the show. What is an artist alley at a virtual con, Bill, you ask? How dare you interrupt me when I'm talking? Anyway, the the virtual artist alley, basically right now it's Tracy, but we're going to do a live stream. We're going to talk to Tracy, about the Tracy things that we talk about. Vincent, hello. We're going to talk to Tracy about the Tracy things that we usually talk about, but it's going to be Tracy's time to shine because Tracy is going to have his own, not con related, but his own prints, t-shirts. No, I'm sorry. No. Tracy does not have t-shirts. I got into con merch. But prints, mugs, steins, posters, all kinds of stuff you will be able to purchase from Tracy. He'll have that available, and we'll share the links up for that at the con, so you can get art from one of the founders of the hobby. Yeah, I consider he was right there. He was in the room when D&D was born, okay? That's the way I feel about that. I'm going to regret that when I'm dying of thirst in about 30 minutes, but my mouth felt like it was sealing itself shut. I realize you guys would have enjoyed that, but who's DMing Mork from Orson? Robin Williams? I don't know. Mork Borg, which I've been told is actually pronounced Mike Douglas. No, Road March, no. So anyway, yeah, please do sign up for the con. If you haven't signed up for the con, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I would point out one other very important thing, guys. This is super duper important. If you want to run a game at the con, oh look, somebody just signed up. Well, no, I got to refresh because I've got an email. Yes, someone just signed up. If you've signed up for the con, oh, thank you, RPG Grandma. Thank you for signing up. But if you've signed up for the convention and you want to run a game, it is not an automatic thing that you can just say, I'm a game master. You need to ask me. Ask me through the Discord. Don't ask me in the live chat. Don't say on the 22nd, I can't get into a room, Bill. I can't run a game, Bill. I got no players, Bill. You need to message me through the Discord. I have to manually set your GM status. Just like if I sign up for GaryCon or Gen Con or whatever, I can't just walk onto the convention floor space and say, I'll take this table. Where are my players? Why wasn't my game on the schedule? You need to let me know. Anyhow, that is 18 minutes of carnival barking from me about the state of things. But anyhow, let's talk about what's going on gaming wise. I was having a lot of fun today. Is this still up here? That's not. Because somewhat like, I don't want to put anybody on the spot ever. Like, I would say, well, in the case in the case of Errol Otis, The Strange Case of Errol Otis by H.P. Lovecraft. With regard to Errol, I didn't just run in like the day after I got back from the con, or even, I don't think even on like the live streams that I was doing with the con, I had talked to them, and I believe I used the language, I hope, I'd like to, but I never want to say, oh, I'm getting this person on. There was someone I was, she like, whew, sorry. There was, there's a concerted opinion that Twitter is awful, and I am generally of the same mindset in feeling that Twitter is awful. However, on my Twitter bio, it is stated simply, First Edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons only, no politics. Now, last year at this time, when I posted something up on Twitter that made the term AD&D trend on Twitter, by the way, I bent Twitter to my will, and I cackled like an MFer when I did it. In the huge spew of responses, which were about 2/3 positive and 1/3 highly negative, somebody called me out. He was one of the few persons that I just closed the door and threw the deadbolt and threw the chain and clicked the night latch. Someone said, "You can't say you're apolitical because you play role-playing games. Role-playing games are art, and all art is political. Therefore, this was a political statement." And I was like, so Twitter is pretty awful for the most part. However, if you stay in RPG Twitter, good classic RPG Twitter, I'm not talking about RPG Twitter where people come in and say, well, I'm going to use a role-playing game to explore blah, blah, blah about real life and about, this oppression and that microaggression and the other. If you just focus on talking about role-playing games and only follow people who talk about role-playing games, guys like T-shirted Historian and so on, you wind up with a clean Twitter feed. And it's very, very nice. And there's someone in that lane. I would say this person is right in the middle, the purest part of that. And I would love to have them come on the show. And I've asked them a couple times, but they're grown-ups and they're very busy. So they don't have time to hit my nose there. They don't have time to come and sit on our pretend TV show with us. Well, I shouldn't say that like that, like sounds so negative. They haven't had a chance. So I'm not going to say this person whom I'm getting on the show. The point is, yeah, Tiny Warfare. That's me too. But this person asked, like, who was your favorite non-player character? And did they ask? I'm gonna have to go and I'm gonna have to look. I actually can't get my Twitter feed. Twitter is not a mobile experience for me, by the way. Yeah, lol boomer, whatever. But the question was, have you ever played an NPC that you just loved? And the first thing that sprang into my mind when this question was asked was Jane. Now, for those of you who don't know the story of Jane, many years ago, and we've actually had a live stream about this. I actually had Father Aaron, the dungeon minister, on the show. He and I talked about Jane because Jane was an excellent thought experiment. But many, many years ago, I said, okay, demons are chaotic evil, which, by the way, Chaotic evil is not the most evil. Neutral evil is the most evil. Lawful evil is by and large not the most evil, nor is chaotic evil. All right. The difference between lawful evil and chaotic evil are the mafia and the Manson family. But there is something worse. Okay. Your neutral evil, that's where you get, your Ted Bundy. All right. But the point is, where I'm going with this is I said, okay, Dungeon Master's Guide. Dungeon Master's Guide has a cursed item, and I was just looking through the DMG one day. That's what led us down here. Oh boy, I'm losing you guys. It's going to be a very short show tonight. There's the helm of opposite alignment. You put it on lawful good, they become chaotic evil. You put it on neutral evil, they become neutral good. You put it on chaotic good, they become lawful evil. You get the idea. It's opposites. You put it on true neutral, and they will go to one of the four extremes. Lawful neutral can be pretty evil. That was actually explored a little bit in a Michael Moorcock book. Elric went to a plane of absolute lawful neutrality, and the gods there had basically deleted everything. They were just like, everything causes chaos. So I said, what if a demon put on a helm of opposite align? And I know I've told this story before, but the question came up on Twitter, and I was telling the story, and I don't really want to talk too much about what went into my thought processes. I asked around in a few places. After I had thought about it for a really long time. And then many years later, I asked about it in a few places on social media, and the responses were many varied. The demon explodes. The demon dies. It just disappears into nothing because they're made of chaotic evil. Nothing at all. Their evil overcomes it because they're a representation of evil chaos, and they can't be changed. They go insane. It stops working when they take the helmet off. What were some other good ones? Oh, all the demons in the abyss immediately know what's happened and come straight to that individual demon and destroy it, so it can't do anything. And I kind of kicked it around. And the helm of opposite align is really Lawful Evil deleted their Twitter feed. I like that, Rick. That's funny. There's nothing in the helm of opposite align that say, they die, or, let's say it's a chaotic evil person. They put it on, they become lawful good, but they're cursed, so nothing they do will ever work right. And so on. It just says that whoever puts the helmet on becomes the polar opposite alignment. Period. The end. Now, if you go back and you look at Gary's discussions on various mailing lists, on different forum posts, on EN World, those they didn't screw up and delete. Dragon's Foot. If you look at all the nitty gritty nuts and bolts AD&D questions that people ask him, his response about AD&D is universally, it's your game, or it's up to your dungeon master. So it's up to me, because I am perma-DM, I am forever DM, to decide what I want to do with that. I just go by a black and white facile interpretation of how the item works. So now we've established that that's what happens. So I said, okay, I'm just going to put in my back pocket the idea that somewhere in the abyss, a demon got one of these that it's a cursed item, so you can be sure there'd be one kicking, 1 or 10 or a million or something kicking around in the abyss, and was tricked into put it on out of idle curiosity, what have you, because it just looks like a normal iron helm, you know. And what happened was, I decided one day to put this forward as a gambit to see what my party would do. And so I looked at the possible demon types. And then I rolled a die to see what would happen, to see which of the demon types. Because the helm will fit on a human head. It's like you couldn't put it on a gelatinous cube. It would just blip down into it. And you couldn't put it on a bugbear. Bugbear's got a big wide head. They're like Stewie from Family Guy, except they're as tall as Shaquille O'Neal. If you put a helm of opposite line on Shaquille O'Neal, would it mean he could hit a free throw? Thanks for costing Orlando a championship. Anyway, yeah, it's 30 years later, and I'm still a little bitter about that. But what happens? Guys are over here talking about coconut curry. Anyway. But what happens when someone with a human head, or a head that can become human, if you look, all demons can polymorph self. So I rolled the die to see what kind of demon it would be. And it came up as a type 5. For those of you who play only newer editions of D&D, and to me, a D&D 2nd edition and up is newer editions of D&D. Sorry, not sorry. The type 5 is the Malorith. So Renoreme put one on. Her alignment was immediately changed. She knew it would have happened. Now, before you guys say, oh, she would try to become a demon again. Nope. Person that puts on the helm of opposite align immediately and irrevocably becomes the new alignment and wants to stay the new alignment. They don't want to go back. All right, it's not. They're not like the robot in Star Wars Rogue One. Oh, I hate this. No, they are zealots for their new alignment and ethos. So, and before you ask, yes, I know they have magic resistance, and I know the item gets a saving throw. Save versus who is it? Save versus spells. I can't remember. But the premise was that they failed both, which is entirely believable. It's entirely probable. It's not like, taking a 5 gold piece gem and it exploding into a 4 million gold piece gem. It's not that level of improbable. It's actually pretty believable. So Renoreme donned helm of opposite line, became lawful good. The party was exploring Castle Greyhawk. I'm not going to say where, because I have people exploring the same Castle Greyhawk in the Tuesday night game. But they bumped into an evil magic user who was in the process of gating in a demon. Renoreme saw the gate open and heard her name called and realized this was her chance to get out. Because they don't have Twitter feeds, they don't have RSS feeds, they don't have push messages that, Renoreme became lawful good. That doesn't happen. Straight out the gate. He starts making demands. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Do what I want, or spirit rack. And she's just standing there laughing at him. which of course is infuriating him. Party walks in, throws a bunch of evil spells at him. They fight him off. And then we come to a Mexican standoff because here's this rather plain-looking human woman, plain Jane. But she's standing in the midst of a magical circle, can't move out. They're detecting evil, they're casting spells, they're like, ESP, can we tell that, detect lie? And finally they said, okay, all right. They erased a little bit. She stepped out. Thank you. Can you show me the way out of here? Once they got back to their camp, and they're like, okay, why were you standing in a magic circle trapped in this room in Castle Greyhawk? You're obviously not evil. You're actually lawful good. What's the deal? And she revealed her true form. Needless to say, this surprised everyone. They were a bit spooked. But she then explained what had happened and that she'd been waiting for her chance to escape from the abyss, come to the prime material plane, and do some good. Now, when you do something like that as a dungeon master, you absolutely, positively have to be willing to let the dice fall where they may. It is dangerously easy to take a neat concept character like that and let them take over your game. Either by running the character as a Mary Sue or Gary Stu, or DMPC for the younger set, or to let their lives dictate the game, Oh, Jane has to go atone for this, so that's where the campaign is taking you. Jane, the Mages Guild wishes to interrogate Jane about the nature of the abyss, and it's the Mages Guild in this city. So now that's where the campaign is going. It takes kind of a delicate touch, and it takes a willingness just to push that NPC into the background for a good portion of the campaign and just say yes, no, and I fight. Now, the question may come that, yeah, but Bill, how is everybody reacting to a beautiful but weird looking half snake, half woman with 6 arms and is like 12 feet tall? How? And of course, the answer is she stays polymorphed as human, which kind of led to a funny moment. So the next question might be, yeah, but Bill, she's got like a raft of psionic disciplines, doesn't she? She has spell-like abilities out the wazoo. All this, that, and the other. Isn't she just basically the parties, everybody hide behind Jane? No. To prevent that from happening, as a DM, those powers are all rooted in demonic abilities. And psionic powers have a chance of causing powerful demons to appear. It's like putting up a big sign that says, here's a psionics using person. Do you think that those at the top of the heap, because it's a heap, it's not a hierarchy in the abyss. You want a hierarchy, go to hell. Do you think those at the top of the heap in the abyss would be happy knowing that somebody escaped, that somebody found a way out? They would not. So she always said, be on the down low. with the magic abilities. Now, I did have plans. I did have things in mind. I did have things that I wanted to do with the non-player character. Again, it takes a subtle hand to not just say, this is happening. It takes a subtle hand. But a most interesting thing happened. One of the player characters wooed her. Now, look, let me tell you what. I do not do ERP at my table. It never happens. The closest I'll come is if somebody says, I want to seduce the barmaid, I'll say, that's what you do. And then we go on with the rest of the game. And this player was fully cognizant of that. And so they became Greyhawk's favorite secret power couple. Rich, yeah, you're right. Hello, Longshot. So that player came to me and said that life had thrown him a series of curves. Now, most of those curves had happened in the months prior to this. Some of them were pretty serious in real life curves. And at first, I was like, why the hell did you keep gaming then? Not angry at him, don't get me wrong. I wasn't pissed off at him. I was more shocked. Because brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. You guys have seen me stress out and ditch shows. Last summer, late last summer, when Colleen got extremely ill, something that culminated in surgery, I was out of my mind with worry. And guess what? I didn't do a show, and I sure as hell didn't play D&D on Monday nights. My buddy Dan McDougall, it's a shout out to you, Dan. Thank you. Stepped up and ran the Monday night game because I knew 6 weeks gone could potentially die on the vine. Yeah, even a 10-year campaign, you leave it untouched for 6 months and it can go away. So, yeah, if when this situation with him started up, he had said, here's what's happening, I can't play anymore, I would have completely understood. When he came to me and said, this has been going on since, I was like, and you kept playing D&D? But then I realized, and let's get serious here for a second. The week after my dad died, I was at my friend Jason's house with Rob and Kevin and Jason and me, and I think there was another person there. We were playing Champions. We were playing Hero System with old characters from like 1989. Why? Because I needed it. I needed to get away. I needed that escape. I needed to not think about what had just happened. And that's what I did. And maybe that's what he needed. So I wasn't torqued at him for not just ditching me. I'd have been more torqued if he had ditched me. But to come back to the point, his character and this NPC had fallen in love. And it was very sweet. Yes, there was a wedding. There was all the romance. Yeah, I do that, and I do it with AD&D, first edition. All my old Grognard friends are pissed off now. I can hear the sound of subscriptions falling off my YouTube channel. I'm getting kicked out of Discords as we speak. But no, and again, it was just role play. You know, there was no like I make a roll the seducer or anything like that. So he came to me and said, life is taking me in a different direction. I can't stay at I cannot reliably stay at the table. And I said, I understood. And I was like, well, I have some plans for Jane. So I was thinking, you know, we could potentially kill her off in a slam bang kind of thing. Or maybe both of your characters. And but you go to one of the seven heavens together because you're lawful good, she's lawful. And we talked about it. And he just kind of said, nah. If it's just the same to you, could we just ride off into the sunset together and be happy? And I considered the circumstances and I said yes. Now it's just from a game standpoint, it's a damn shame, but I was happy to give him that. I was more than happy to give him that. But I did have things I wanted to do with that NPC. Not just like, oh, well, yeah, the cleric and the demon have gone off and, you know, they're living on church lands in a major city in Greyhawk now. It's very, very secret what she is, because if the populace at large knew, you know, a third of them would run in terror, a third of them would want to burn her at the stake, and another third would call for the complete dissolution of the church and want to burn her at the stake, by and large. So that's what happened to Jane, Renereme, the Type 5 demoness, who started out as a thought experiment that only existed on paper and in my head, and was a major minor non-player character. A major, yes, I mean a major minor non-player character in my Monday night game. That's what happened. Hey, Volcano God. Volcano God, Errol Otis is going to be here next Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern. Better be there. Tactical consensus. If you fall in love with an NPC, let her go. If she comes back to you, she's yours in perpetuity. So yeah, that's the story. That's the story, and I'm excited about it. Just how the whole thing happened. One day, I hope I can sit down with the player of the character and say, let's resolve this once and for all. I hope we can do it. But anyway, that's the story of Jane. It was a wonderful thing. I'm gonna scroll through here. People keep telling me to check out Shadow Dark. Guys, look. I have a long enough back scratcher. It's shaped just the right way. The tines on it are just sharp enough, but not too sharp. The handle's long enough, but not so long that it's unwieldy. It's called First Edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. I get it. Shadow Dark looks neat, and it's the thing everybody wants to be seen playing. But when it comes to the game that I want to play, I already got him. Now, that is not directed at anybody in the live stream. I'm just, people at random are like, dude, you ought to do an episode about Shadow Dark. It's somebody's 5e homebrew. No. You want to convert some Shadow Dark modules to AD&D? Yeah, I'll talk about them. Talk about them till I'm blue in the mouth. Rock and Donkey, that sounds really cool. Shame it's for 2E, but, you know. I have Dungeon Master's Assistants Volume 1 and 2 and DOSBox X, so I'm pretty much set when it comes to DM Assistant tools. Volcano Dark, Volcano God, blah. Shadow Dark is a 5e reskin with like an OD&D kind of vibe. You know, what people were doing with Micro Light, White Box, D20 back when guys like me kicked off the OSR in the early 2000s. Do I have the Dragon Bone dice roller? I sure don't. I don't. I wish I did. I saw them in stores up to the mid-1990s, gaming stores, and they were usually deeply discounted because what wants these things? And this is what I don't get about saying it's X, but it has old school feel. You know what feels old school about AD&D? The rules. If I'm playing 5e, you know? And that's something else that grinds my gears. Dark vision. When did dark vision become a thing? It's ultravision and infravision. Ultravision is low light night vision gear. It collimates any available photons and amplifies them and makes you able to see in low light night vision. Infravision, as the name implies, is vision by heat. It's like having second gen thermals strapped to your face. They're two different things. I never liked dark vision. Infravision or ultravision. Ultravision is pretty rare. Exactly, Rock and Donkey. If you want old school, play old school. And again, Death Angel, I'm not getting in your grill. It is a sad day when you look back at 3rd edition and 3.5 with the nostalgia. But this like weirds me, this like screws with the inside of my head. We're as far now from the creation of 3rd edition as the creation of 3rd edition was from the invention of Dungeons and Dragons by Gary Gygax. I hate the passage of time. Was it Geddy Lee saying, time stands still? Freeze this moment a little bit longer. Make each impression a little bit stronger. The innocence slips away. Road March, I hope I can do that for you someday. That was one thing, Rich, that I'll knock third edition for being this. Okay, let's do a gun comparison and get me completely demonetized because I'm broke. I might as well. AD&D is like, an old M3 grease gun or a Sten machine gun. It's made out of stamped metal. There's no machined parts, all right? You can fix a Sten gun with the spring from a sufficiently large spiral notebook. if your return spring is broken, for example, probably not. Don't do that. Don't go buy an antique Sten gun and say, Bill said to try this. I can do it. But I mean, you can take a Sten gun and throw it into a mud puddle and pick it up and continue to fire it. The same with a 45. And honestly, the same with a Garand. Third edition is like the M16A2. Heaven help you if you get even a grain of dirt in there. It is so tightly engineered with zero tolerances, the entire thing will jam up solid. Is it really good at what it does? Absolutely. Is it meant for jungle fighting like AD&D is? No way in hell. Third edition and all similar D20 games are about one thing, and that's CHAROP or CAROP, character optimization. I have seen people in discussion forums about third and 3.5 and Pathfinder, which is just third edition with more feats and more skills and more classes. That's all it is. Don't kid yourself that it's a different game. I have seen people seethe. Thank you, Volcano God. Thank you for the super chat, Volcano. But I have seen people seethe at players who came in with non-optimized. In third edition and 3.5 and Pathfinder, there is one single solitary way to create each character in the most optimal way. And again, I've seen some players in third and 3.5 and Pathfinder see that people who wouldn't do the optimal thing, people who wouldn't hyper optimize their characters. Look, if you do this, we're not going to hit 5th level by session so-and-so. My monk, paladin, assassin, druid, half owl bear, 3/4 gelatinous cube, psionicist will not be at 5th level on May the 18th. You're screwing up our game is what you're doing, trying to have fun. I can't stand that. I literally cannot stand that. Thank you, Rich. Thank you for making him do it. Thank you very much for making him do it, Volcano God. And I'm not just like the guy who walked into the comic store and saw a third edition released and went, ew, a new edition. I'm not touching that. And then, walked out being all comic book guy fat beard. I played third edition. I played 3.5. I played Wheel of Time D20. I played Star Wars D20. I've played Pathfinder. I've played them. I know from what I speak. And the character optimization machine. It is a machine. There's only one way that it functions. You can do fun things with the systems. Don't get me wrong. They're just not programmed to reward it. Right? Think about Doom 2. You can absolutely play them Fist only. All right. The maps, the monster layouts, the monster damage, the amount of armor you get, the amount of health pickups there are, they are not meant to reward that kind of behavior. Not every map has a berserk, which gives you 100 health and quadruples your fist damage. Not every map has enough health pickups that if you are constantly being bitten or hit by ranged attacks as you rush in to punch the demons and the former humans, and the Icon of Sin, you certainly have to use a ranged weapon on. I know, except for Zero Master's tool-assisted pacifist run, that doesn't count. Thank you, Rich, for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. Guys, I really appreciate it. Jimmy Invictus, thank you all. I see all that stuff. They don't reward it. You're not rewarded for playing that way. So yeah, you can decide, I'm going to play Doom like Doom Guy as a Kung Fu guy. You know? And that's Pathfinder. That's 3.5. That's 3rd edition in a nutshell. One proper way to build everything. All of that said, Wizards of the Coast of that day did not give a flying fig. They brought back, and this like blows my mind. Like I cannot believe there are, look, 2E fans. Come here. No, come over here. Sit down. You guys that are like, you know, Baze 2 and it's what, and how is it? Baze 2 and whatever you call demons or whatever, you know, oh, it's more flavorful. Dude, that's not flavor. That isn't flavor. That's like somebody bringing Kraft macaroni and cheese to the potluck and you saying it's the best food you've ever eaten. Okay? Baze 2 and Tannery. It's demons and devils. And Wizards of the Coast brought it back with a grand flourish. The Book of Exalted Deeds, the Book of Vile Darkness, books that Wizards of the Coast themselves felt compelled to put content warning stickers on. Because, yeah. That aspect, I cannot knock, and I cannot but salute Wizards of the Coast for being that bold. Deities and Demigods, Oriental Adventures. We got those from early Wizards of the Coast. God dang it. Can't believe I'm actually sitting here being nostalgic about Wizards of the Coast and early D&D, but there it is. There it is. We can't, you know. Guys, thank you. Thank you so much for the stickers and the supers and everything. I really appreciate it. And there's a new function. I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna put this. Everybody's super chats come up. Is that so? Like on my birthday, when birthday live stream was like 160 people. Which for me was insane. I know you get guys like Arcade and they like 4,500 people watching, and he makes $20,000 a night. It's obscene, but it's a good grift. It was a little bit like that, and just so many people. Well, apparently since then and now they've added a system, and I know you guys can't see this. This doesn't make a damn lick of sense, but every super gets put over in a separate tab. So anyone who super chats or super stickers, I will acknowledge you because now I have a system where before we wrap up for the evening. So if you want to try it out and super chat me to make sure I get your super chat and throw 5, 10, 20, 50, just whatever you got into super chats, just to make sure that it works, you go right ahead and try it. And I'll show you how it works. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Just give it a shot. Give it a shot. Yeah, thanks, Death Angel. Thanks. Thanks for reminding me. Thank you, Trace. Thank you. I wasn't picking on you because Trace runs a pretty cool sounding 2E table, but yeah, the Bays 2 and Tannery stuff. Just I'm like, it's you're kowtowing to blue-haired old ladies when you do that. No, it's cool. It sounds more flavorful. It doesn't. It doesn't. That Kraft macaroni and cheese, Bays 2 and Tannery, is you took that and you put it back in the colander and washed the cheese off. That's how flavorful it is. Now you can argue with me about calling, 6-armed snake, lower-bodied female demons type 5 demons or Maloriths. That's one thing. But they're not type 5 Bays 2. Miss me with that. Rich S has got it. Satanic panic for life. My little corner of the interwebs. Yeah, my tiny microscopic, virtually non-existent, will get sucked up into the vacuum cleaner if you're not careful corner of the internet. Hey, look, I'm realistic, guys. I know I'm never really gonna get much of anywhere doing this, but I love all you guys, and that's what matters. I've said before, and I'll say it again. If I had one subscriber here on the channel, one person that wanted to sit and listen to me talk, I do it because I care about you guys. I absolutely care about you guys. A1 sauce is good. A1 is very good. See, Joshua gets it. Joshua understands. Trace says, I'd like to make another one. It seems a lot of players that play WotC D&D 5e especially seem to have done the game down to numbers. Okay, here's my counter observation. I'm not disagreeing. Rockin' Donkey says, if I have one viewer, that's one more than you. Oh, what's your channel? What's your YouTube channel? Are you the Rockin' Donkey on YouTube? I'll find you right now. I'll subscribe to you. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, you fibber. You absolute fibber. You have 45 subscribers, but you know what? Now you got 46. There. And you didn't even have to super chat me that. It's good on hamburger. A1's good on hamburgers. My dad used to make A1 burgers when we were a kid. I think that's where I ended up liking it a lot. Like he would just throw some blobs of A1 and some onion into the hamburgers before he would cook them out. It's very good. So anyway, Trace, See, there are people on the other side of the equation who think that they've made it so little about numbers that some people think it's been blandified to numbers. I personally think, from a math or not math standpoint, it's fairly simplistic. It's like for me, it's like a watered down, like 4E almost. Or no, I'm sorry. It's like a watered down 3E. The whole thing, if I'm being honest with you, rules wise, is so mechanically lightweight, and that's not necessarily a good thing, because like you can't run a performance sports car with a two-stroke gas trimmer engine, right? That's a lightweight engine. It feels to me like they got to a point with the play test and said, lock this in, this is it. And you might think, well, that's the whole point of beta testing something, Bill, where you hit a point and you lock things in. But the thing about it is, you don't ship the beta. Even if the beta is bug free, even if you tested the beta. Oh, this one is for Road March and for Michael Connor. Beta! They know what I'm talking about. You don't ship your beta product, no matter how solid your beta product might be. I feel like they just said, you know what, we're getting good enough feedback, I guess it's done. And they never sought to expand on it. So it literally feels like I'm playing the starter set with more levels when I look at 5th edition. By the way, if you like barbecue and you've never had Stubbs, try Stubbs. Stubbs has got an awesome story. Stubbs' story is great. The guy who founded it used to barbecue on tank exhaust manifolds when he was in Korea, when he was stationed in Korea. And I'll tell you about this just because it's worth it's worth knowing a little bit of history. But CB Stubblefield, I believe was his name, CB Stubbs or CB Stubblefield. He was in the army and stationed in Korea, and he would like barbecue on tank engine exhausts, and the smell would just waft around the unit, and people knew he was cooking. And he told a story. This is a fantastic story. If you can find it, read it. BB King was performing at one of Stubbs' barbecue restaurants in Texas. Because, there's a bar attached to the bar and grill. And so Stubblefield goes and he picks BB King up at the airport, and they're driving along, and there's all these barbecue joints, and they got the windows rolled down and you can smell it. And this was a difficult point in American history for people like BB King and people like CB Stubblefield. However, CB Stubblefield had created a barbecue empire. So they're riding up the highway, and BB King says, man, I sure do wish we could stop and eat at one of these restaurants. And Stubblefield laughed and said, well, how about this one? And pulls in. And he's like, basically asking him if it's segregated. He's like, no, it belongs to me. It better not be. I think that's a pretty damn fine story. But yeah, try Stubbs. What do I put on sweetened breakfast cereal? I can't really eat it anymore. It makes my foot tingle when I eat extra sugary stuff. My darling wife will occasionally buy me a box of mini, or rather a bag of mini Reese's cups, and I'm like, please don't do that. Anyway, no, sugary sweet cereals. If I'm going to eat one, I'm going to eat like a little Tupperware cup like that big full of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but it's got to be swimming in milk. Not till it gets soggy. Like, it's got to be milk hit cereal, start eating. You know what I'm saying? Milk hit cereal, start eating it straight away. So you get a good milky taste, a good creamy milky taste, and whole milk, not skim. You might as well dump a package of creamer in a cup of water and then put that on your cereal as eat skim milk over a good cereal. Now, when I was going to college, I used to celebrate the end of every semester with a box of Captain Crunch Crunchberry. Semester would end, I'd go up to Publix, I'd get a box of Captain Crunch Crunchberry, and I would eat it. And if it was BOGO, I'd get 2 and I'd eat them. It's pretty much solidified corn syrup. Now, the one cereal that I will eat a big bowl of, yes, it was Crabthon. It was absolutely unremittingly evil. I'm angry when I think about that. But anyway, I'm not going to. Raisin Bran. To my younger viewers, you hit a certain age when Raisin Bran is no longer an option for breakfast. You know what I'm talking about? But I love, if I want a bowl of Raisin Bran for an afternoon snack even, I will start the preparation. There's preparation of Raisin Bran involved, okay? Sit it down, fill your bowl, soak it in milk. Set the kitchen timer, let it sit for 5 minutes. I hate crunchy Raisin Bran. I love Raisin Bran when it has gotten soggy. Yeah, I know. It's completely screwed up. Raven. Yeah. And you don't have to put, when I was a kid, I used to dump sugar on Raisin Bran, probably even as an adult. But yeah, no, you don't have to put, there's sugar on the raisins. All right. It tastes just fine like it is. When I was a kid, I'd hit a bite of Raisin Bran that didn't have sugar on it. I'd reach over to the sugar bowl and I'd sprinkle, yeah. I used to. Now, grape nuts is good on ice cream and it's good in yogurt. Cornflakes are good. Cornflakes are good with strawberry and bananas. Oh, you know what's absolutely amazing? Guys, if you've never tried this, trust me, you'll thank me. You'll thank me. Is chocolate Cheerios with diced up bananas and strawberry. It's like having a banana split for breakfast. It's pretty damn good. Honey Nut Cheerios is pretty good. I gotta be in the mood. I gotta be in the mood for the taste of honey. Because when I am, I will find the original formula Honey Nut Cheerios back when General Mills was actually putting honey on them, which they release as a limited product. Which makes me go, what the hell are you putting on them now? Corn syrup. You know, we can laugh at Mexico and Canada, and we do. We do. And Europe. as much as we want. Y'all got laws against putting corn syrup in as a food additive that I wish we had here. Oh my God. People my age and older, we know what Coca-Cola used to taste like. It doesn't taste like it tastes today. Yeah, I'm being that. I'm doing that. I'm being that guy. And if you want to know what the difference is, if you live here in the States, go to your Publix, go to your Safeway, see if you got a bodega near you. Get a Mexicoke. Coke in a glass bottle usually has a white sticker on the bottle. Hecho en Mexico, excuse me. Hecho en Mexico. Savor one. Don't guzzle it. Don't drink it in your car on the way back. Don't bring it home and dump it over a glass of ice. Put it in the fridge. Save it till you've been doing yard work, whatever. Crack it open. Enjoy. You're welcome. That's what Coca-Cola used to taste like. That is what Coca-Cola used to taste like. Mexicoke is phenomenal because there's exactly that much corn syrup in it. Now, there are, you can get other Mexican sodas if you're at the bodega and you want, their Sprite, grape and orange Fanta. I don't think they do. I'm not sure if they do Mellow Yellow down there, but like Pepsi and Dr. Pepper both release a bunch of their brands here in the States, like original formula or, with sugar or something like that. You shouldn't be drinking a bunch of sugar water anyway, but if you're gonna, make it something worth having. Don't just get a can of carbonated corn syrup. See, Rock and Donkey, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, I bet you there's 29 people in chat. There may be 31, there may be 27, because YouTube. Give a thumbs up, give a shout, say, I have. If you have ever had Orange Crush in a brown bottle, I have. I bet you haven't. Orange Crush in a brown bottle. I've had it. Not just Orange Crush or not Orange Crush in a glass bottle. Orange Crush used to come in brown bottles. And I have had it. Raven Wolfgar, first one right out of the chute. All right, Raven. Yes. Yes. Now, I tell you, a really good soda that comes close to the way sodas used to be is... okay, my Wisconsinites, help me out here. Sprecher's. Sprecher's grape soda, man. It's grape juice, like some citric acid, carbonated water, and honey. I'm like, why can't all sodas be like that? Don't put ascorbic acid. Don't put gum arabic in it. Can we just go to honey, carbonated water, little bit of citric acid, and juice from grapes? Can we not do that, please? Why are they not blowing Coca-Cola off the face of the planet? High-res root beer? Was there a low-res root beer? Yep, Sprecher's grape soda. And they do beer, too. They do like actual alcoholic beverages, too. I was never an RC Cola fan. I wasn't much of a Coca-Cola fan as a kid. I started drinking it more as As a young kid, like I always wanted Sprite. Coke tasted weird to me. Coke tasted like weird and burned. It tasted like burned sugar to me. Sprite, 7-Up, Mellow Yellow, Mountain Dew. So we talked about D&D for about 40 minutes, maybe an hour if you want to consider my 18-minute carnival barking for the convention. And we've spent the following 40 minutes talking about food. And of that, about 10 talking about soda. No, I don't think it's that bad. Max's Sprite, Raven. Max's Sprite is great. Did I? Yeah, HFCS is cheap. Bees are expensive. You have to care for a living thing versus, plants you can continually put mercury into. Oh, did I say that out loud? Shit, they're going to get me now. Subscribe to Rockin' Donkey. But anyhow, oh my God, Uncle Brat. Thank you so much. IBC root beer, by the way. IBC root beer is delicious. Thank you so much for the super. So we're gonna my top 3 because this was a quick question. John Stuart Keller, my top 3 pro wrestlers, and have I ever based D&D characters on them? Just got off the road and may have missed it. It was not asked. Okay. Road March. I'm actually gonna star that Road March because I have a funny and horrifying story to tell you about that. You're gonna have to hear that. Hulk, Macho Man Randy Savage, and wow, number 3, Andre the Giant. I have to say, and no, I have not. Although I should probably introduce a Macho Man into the Monday Night AD&D game. I think I will. I think I'm going to do that. Thank you. God bless you so much, Uncle Brat, for the super. I really mean that. I bet you won't do it again. I'm kidding. Let's get to the super chats, as a famous man once said. And I'm going to go down this. Volcano God, of course. Getty Lee indeed said, let this moment live a little bit longer. Yes. Rich S. Volcano God made me do it. Jimmy Invictus. Rich S. threatened to beat me up. We had a super sticker from Rich S. And an unspoken super from Crap Phone. Thank you so much. You know what? I'm gonna do those anyway. And Uncle Brad, of course, said, I wish that A&W root beer tasted like it did in the 50s. You and me both. Now, I starred this from Road March because I didn't want to miss it. Grape fan, it will turn your poop green if you drink too much of it. You know what will else? And it's also a grape thing, grape Gatorade. Grape Gatorade will. When I was 22, 23, not much older than that, I came down with adult chicken pox because I'd never had it as a kid, and they didn't do chicken pox vaccinations back then. Or if they did, mine wore off or something. I'm really dating myself here. I'm the only person that would want to take me out on a date. Anyway, I got adult chicken pox. Now, there's 2 things that can happen to you as an adult if you get the chicken pox. About a week later, your body starts to shut down and you catch pneumonia. Or your immune system goes into overdrive and has a viral, there's a viral outbreak, and you get, what do you call it? You get shingles. So on a 1 through 3, you get pneumonia, severe pneumonia. On a 4 through 6, you get shingles. I rolled a 2. Had chickenpox, missed a week of work, came back to work. By that Wednesday, we were doing shipment, and I was so violently ill at the end of the night, I felt like I was going to die. I worked from like 1 until midnight or 3 until midnight, a full shift. And by midnight, again, I was in hell. So I got home, got under the covers. Mom comes in to take my temperature. Yeah, I was 23 and I was living at home, and my mom was checking in on me. If I'd been living alone, I would be dead. You wouldn't have a Delver's Dungeon. I would be dead. Mom comes in, and I hear her standing at my door saying, Walt, Bill's got a temperature of 105. I sat bolt upright and with more strength than I would have thought I had, pushed past her, went in the bathroom, shucked off cold water in the tub, filled the cold water with tub. Mom says, what can we do for you? And I said, I need all the ice. I need all of the ice. You got to get my temperature down right now, or my brain's going to start to die. That much I know. So Dad literally started going to the all-night grocery that was in our neighborhood and buying, like, he went and got 2 bags of ice and dumped them in, and I melted them in like 20 minutes. And he went and got more. And the third trip, the guy was like, hey, you guys having a party or something? And my dad was, And he also got me cold jugs of grape Gatorade. So I'm sitting there in the tub in ice with jugs of Gatorade around me, drinking grape Gatorade. Got my temperature down, didn't die. Might have damaged my brain. You guys will have to tell me if that happened. And so felt horrible for a few days. Finally started to feel a little bit normal. Going to the bathroom, crayon yellow poop. I mean sunshine yellow, the kind that did not show up good on the newsprint coloring books. It was that bright for about another week. So that's my story, guys. Listen, I had an absolute blast tonight. Be good to each other, everyone. I love you all. Thank you all for the supers. Again, Volcano God Rich, Jimmy Rich, Crap Phone, and especially Uncle Brad. Well, not especially. Just everybody, especially everybody. Guys, I love you. Please take care of yourselves. If you haven't signed up for the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, please do it. I don't know how many. I don't know how many slots are left in the AD&D tournament that Doomsword is running and giving cash prizes for. You need to sign up for the con, get onto the Discord, and find out. Oh, Rock and Donkey, thank you. Rock and Donkey sneaking one in there as I'm winding down. But thank you, Rock and Donkey. Thank you so much. Guys, check him out. He's at the Rock and Donkey on YouTube. So yeah, so that's all happening. And folks, next week, Errol Otis. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss hanging out with Errol Otis next Thursday at 7:00 Eastern time. If you do, you're gonna regret it. Everybody, again, I love you all. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair?
bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to